Hello, ladies and gentlemen. The video you're about to see was made 2 court appearances back. A lot has changed since then. Stay tuned. You're watching Who Can You Trust? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of Who Can You Trust? In this episode, we're going to examine the disappearance of court judge Joyce D. Hyman. Joyce, you might be familiar with Judge Hyman. She was one of the judges that was assigned to our case, the child custody case. Now, as you notice, I have on my Sunday morning meeting suit. I was at the courtroom just today, and lo and behold, to my surprise, who was missing but the judge herself. Now, Judge Hyman had been replaced by a male judge by the name of Finley, I do believe. And this goes back to what we were saying to begin with. There was no authority to hold the trial in the first place. There's no authority in California that can change a custom or practice of a transient individual visiting the state, vacationing in the state. You can't turn around and take a person's rights away from them because your law in California is different than their law in any of the other 49 states. As an example, we can put it like this. If you're legally married in Kentucky, and let's say Kentucky's legal marriage age is 16, and there's a young couple who's legally married in Kentucky, and let's say they want to go over to Ohio, they want to go to a Bengals game, you know, God forbid, nobody knows why, but maybe for their honeymoon. They cross that state line. They go over into Ohio. Ohio's law is different and says that a couple under 18 years old are not permitted to marry or be together. So when they cross that state line, are they subject to Ohio's law? And the answer to that one is no, because they're visitors. They're just coming in, they're legally married in Kentucky, and they are a part of these United States, which their rights and privileges of the state of Kentucky have to be upheld and taken into consideration whatever in any of the other 49 states. You can't impose a law or custom of your state which is different from the law or custom of another state which is not a breaking of God's natural law, nature's law. So, the question once again, where's Judge Hyman? Why is she hiding? And why all of a sudden, after, let's say, a month of going to these hearings, whatever, all of a sudden, with no paperwork, to show for it, no documents whatsoever, all of a sudden the court now recognizes me as the father of my child, like I told them on day one. So what do you think? You think they had the authority to prove what they've done, to do all this? And since all of a sudden things are drastically changing, and all this is done on my word, they did ask me one question. They asked me, whose child do I believe it is? I told them, I said, she's my child. She's my daughter. That's my kid. And I also told them, as everybody in Chicago, Illinois knows, that she's my kid. So we're going to examine what took place, and we're going to show you some videos, and so you can make up your own mind what you think. This has been Henderson. This is Who Can You Trust?
Now, in the interim, the next time I went to court, yeah, we have a lot of background noise. Yeah. The next time I went to court, this is what took place.
This has been Anderson. Well, who can you trust? I'm standing here in front of the Humboldt County courthouse. I just came out of the courtroom of Judge Joyce D. Heinrich. She's back on the case. After she had left it, and I had been approved by the other judge, Finley, as the father of the child. Now they want to take the child and put her up for adoption. Are there a reason? Well, actually, they've given us no valid reason why I'm still here 4 months later, and the child is still in the hands of the foster services, what they call Health and Human Services. I showed the pictures that you saw, that I showed this audience of my baby and the scars on her from the accident that they had at the hospital, the allergic reaction, which left my baby scarred. I've talked to several attorneys, and they tell me that the reason they don't want to take a medical malpractice case here in California is because they only pay $250,000 for the injury, no matter what. But this isn't only a medical malpractice. This case is a case of cover-up. This is a case where a child was injured in the hands of a social worker for Health and Human Services, and that's why they've come at me like they're like Rottweilers trying to protect their social worker and their nurse and their system.
which preys on these type of cases. Which preys on people who they think had little or no resources or any type of way to fight them back. You know, all they know is that are the facts that have been put before them. And it doesn't really matter, seem to matter in this courtroom, because this courtroom has appointed a guardian for my baby and my wife, even after my wife had already been found to be competent, sane. There's nothing that says that she was ever, or no reason to ever think that she was a unfit mother at all. This injury was caused by the state of California and its representatives. Yeah, I guess they're trying to keep their friend, the social worker, Humboldt, from losing their job for cover-up. I don't believe this is a civil matter at all. I believe this is a criminal matter. I believe that this is a case where the social worker was trying to work with the hospital and the nurse, and that they are actually just criminals that are aiding and abetting in the injury of a child that was less than 1 year old. And now they're looking for a way out of it. So at this point, I'm standing out on the sidewalk out in front of this court waiting for 11:30 to come, for a decision from a judge that had recused from the case and put herself back on the case when she found out that her unlawful, illegal rulings have been monitored. Because I'm pretty sure the federal judge informed me. So you can't tell me that courts don't talk to each other, judges don't talk to each other. Okay, so they know all these things. I showed them the pictures. I showed them the Photoshop pictures that were in the hands of the social worker, Holly Hobby. I showed them the pictures that I took, that I showed to you on this channel, channel 19. So now I'm waiting for a decision from this judge. I've already had a decision from the other one. And now I'm waiting on the first judge again. And as I've been taught by my family, by my relatives, never trust an enemy. And these people are nothing but enemies. So I'll be in there in a couple of, about 15 minutes. To see what their actions are, whatever they are. We try and go with the hope for the best, prepare for the worst. I don't expect anything from them because they took over custody of the child who was sitting in a hotel room, away from a mother. They went into mother's documents and found that she had substantial monies to take care of her child. That she was not a resident of the state of California. I'm not a resident of the state of California. And that we didn't need their services. So why am I here? Who are they protecting? They're not protecting my child. You've seen her. They're not protecting this family. You see how they acted. The rulings they've made. And they're just trying to run it through the system to make it look like, oh, they are helping us poor people. Sure they were. Sure they were. They were trying to help themselves to a piece of that change. They were trying to help themselves in the cover of what happened when they got the baby to the hospital. Okay? So, we'll know in about 15 more minutes. And you'll know as soon as it hits the screen. This has been Anderson. Who Can You Trust? Waiting to see what this bunch of scheming rascals are going to do. You can never expect for your enemy to do the right thing. So let's not be surprised at what they do. I'll be back with you for the outcome of this hearing. Until then, peace and love. May God bless you.
Now, I walked into that courtroom. Like when I walked into that courtroom,
This has been Anderson. Well, who can you trust?
expecting to like I said, not expecting anything from my enemies. I've been taught better than that. And I got exactly what I thought was going to happen, for the simple fact that they're not going after me. So here's a little something to explain just what I mean.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this episode of Who Can You Trust? This is actually a breaking news episode about the actions that have been taking place in the case of the child kidnapping, stemming from the father kidnapping that led to the mother being kidnapped, and now we're trying to get the child back. So stay tuned and let me tell you about what's going on here in Eureka, California. Now, for those of you that have been following the story, you know this character. This is Judge William Q. Hayes. Now, I talked to Judge Hayes. I called him and I told him about what was going on. And someone in Hayes' office told me to file something. The judge said file something so he can do something about it. And well,
last part of March, first part of April, we did file something. We filed this. It's an action for habeas corpus to force the California Superior Court to release the baby, Melody, and to look into the injuries that she sustained while in the hands of California Department of Human Services. So I followed the judge's advice and everything. And as you know, if you've been following this case, that the only thing that I was arguing is that we are Chicago citizens. We are not citizens of California, and we were just passing through when all this happened. These phony arrests, because there's nothing they can say about that because of the outcome of the arrest. I was cut loose without even so much as going into a courtroom once they dragged me back across the country. I get back here and they got my wife and my child both in state custody here in California. So I deal with this judge is, and I enter one issue in the court, in the federal court here in California, and that one issue is the one you're looking at, and that issue was it legal for the court to appoint a guardian to represent Miss Love Anderson after Miss Anderson was diagnosed as competent and sane by the state hospital officials at the medical facility Sempervirens on the same matter, and thereby disenfranchised Mrs. Anderson of the right to defend herself. As a consequence of this action, it prevents Mrs. Anderson from representing her daughter as the child's natural guardian. So, put this in, and about 10 days later we get this. This is a order from the court, from this guy. Yeah. And this is what he does. He decides, after everything, that he's not going to rule on the case. He instead decides that he is going to dismiss the case on the same day that he picks it up. He does a Pontius Pilate and washes his hands of the matter, because the whole thing is crooked, and he knows it. Now, I used to like this fellow, because when he first looked at that case, the first thing he said was, they're hiding an unreported mistrial, a trial that never happened. And they put it down on the record like they had them a big conviction and everything else, and come to find out they had absolutely nothing. Now, the case, as you know, if you've been watching, is before this creature. This creature's name is Joyce D. Heinrich, and she's a Superior Court judge here in Humboldt County. And the case of Melody Anderson is before her. Now, this is the same creature that disappeared last month because of that very issue. She had absolutely no authority whatsoever to order a
guardian for either the mother or the baby, the child, because the mother is the child's natural guardian. See, this is outside of her professional expertise. In other words, she's not a doctor. She can't decide whether or not, she's a judge. She can't decide whether or not a person is mentally stable or not. That's the reason they send you to a psychiatrist, to these doctors, to be diagnosed as to what's going on. So when she ordered that a guardian for the child and for the mother, she effectively disenfranchised my wife. She took my wife's authority over the baby away from her. And she had no authority over my wife in the first place, because my wife is a Chicago resident, an Illinois citizen, and we're only visiting in California. Now we can't get out of California. And it seems like this, what they say, come on vacation, leave on probation. Come for a stroll, leave on parole. Yeah, can't get out of this place. They're holding a child. They won't let us go. And they want to insist that we give them an address, that we rent a place here in California. Now we've done that, and we paid we had at the hotels, just vacation rental, and we paid the $500 a week, but we're trying to do what we told our audience we were going to do in the cards. We're trying to go on with our show and our business and our lives, but obviously Mrs. Heinrich doesn't have that, So at this point, this judge has recused herself once from the case. And now, after things start to get popping, in other words, the judge in San Diego, Hayes, the one you had just seen, when he got that case in front of him, he called and told Heinrich that you better straighten your hand. And you know what happened? Next time I looked up, Joyce D. Heinrich, the same one, who took herself off the case, was back on the case. And now, after I had been declared the natural father of the child by the substitute judge, his name was Finley. Now this creature is back, and she wants to take the child away from me and put my kid up for adoption. I don't know what planet this thing is going on, but she better go back there, because you don't put up with that type of shenanigans here in this country from anybody. So I think she's thinking with a very, very regimented mentality that being a lower court juvenile judge gives her the authority to wield power over the heads of the citizens of this country. And not only is she trying to wield power over the citizens of California, she's now trying to wield power over the citizens of Chicago, Illinois. She's made a ruling that the baby whose father and mother are Chicago residents can't leave the state of California? Where does this thing get off? So, we have another episode after this, and then we'll present you with some more facts. Now, I'm like everybody else. I take the common sense role. What's going on here is it's about money. It's about the injury that to the child, because the injury that they did to the child, they can't get around the fact, that the child is in worse condition than she was when she went in their hands. Okay, and it started out about money because they went through my wife's belongings and they found out that she had money, and they were trying to get a piece of that. So stay tuned for further episodes of Who Can You Trust? This is Ben Anderson, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Now, in the interim, when I went into that courtroom, they have taken their focus up off the fact that it is completely without legal jurisdiction to be holding these hearings on people who have already been declared as being competent, as being, having good sense, period. There's my baby, and you see the marks on her jaw there, face, poor little thing. Yeah, and there she is on her face, and there are marks all over, not marks, but there's a big swath across her chest and on her shoulders and arms, but they're doing us a favor. They're helping us. Sure they are, Yeah, it's amazing to me when I go there. Every time I show up, I see groups and hundreds of people that they're pulling this on. And of course it would, because the people are there because of their baby. You see all those scars and scratches on her face and head? Yeah. You see all that? Yeah. That's what they call Stephen Johnson. That's allergic reaction. Yeah. But they keep telling, and the so-called social worker, the social worker is no longer showing up at court. So they done took old Holly and told her, baby, you gotta take, you get ghost for a while, so that we can handle this, get this straight, because you've been discovered what you doing. So now we're gonna go through and see what we can do, what type of dirt we can dig up on the father. Now, understand, this court doesn't have anything but what the last court said as far as my past, what happened, and whatever. So here we go again. With them chasing around after something that never happened. And they're going after me. Trying to find some reason to deny me custody of my kid. Trying to find some reason, whatever it may be, to deny me custody of my child. Yeah, that's her uncle. They came in from New York, okay? And they got in to see her, and they FaceTimed us so that we could get these pictures, so you could see what they were hiding. And I talked to the attorney, the attorney that they gave me, okay? And my attorney tells me, say, oh no, they can't keep you from taking photos of your kid or your child or whatever. You know, but I have it videoed, the whole 9 yards of them calling the security, trying to call the police and everything else, because I was taking photos of the damage that they've done to my baby. Yeah, you know. So who you think is covering what? You know, like there's no law on the planet that says you can't take pictures of your child or pictures of your child's injuries. You know, in anybody's sense. And they're turning around, here they come. Oh, he's and so now what they want is they want me. Yeah, they want to find something on me. Yeah, so they're going on, yeah. And, yeah, I'm no angel. That's true. Yeah. A misdemeanor might pop up somewhere. But believe me, they ain't got nothing on me. Period. Yeah. Nothing that a fine won't fix. Okay? And they have absolutely no legal, ethical, or natural authority to be holding my child at this time. So, this is Ben Anderson, signing off from this episode of Who Can You Trust? If you have any comment and you want to reach me, you can reach me at the email address or Gmail address, agamemnon916 gmail.com. That's capital A, lowercase GAMIMNON 916 at gmail.com. Email me. Get in touch with me. I'd like to hear from you and see what you think of this. Or anybody that's ever been through it, because I'd like to know how you handled it. Because I'm not from this place. Yeah. In other words, what I'm saying is this is the first time I've ever been through anything like this, and my reaction to this whole situation, and my first reaction is like any parent would be when the child is kidnapped by anybody. And the reason that they don't have kidnapping by the state on the records nowadays is because the state had them remove that charge because they didn't want to be looked at as in the light that they would kidnap people, and that's it. But this is a child kidnapping. This was a kidnapping of a citizen from another state. And as you seen, I fought them. I fought them with Habes and I fought extradition, whatever. And I told these idiots the truth. I said, you don't have anything. I'm the live person. I'm standing right here. I'm telling you, you don't have a charge. You don't have a conviction. You don't have anything. And instead of listening to the live person, the person that's in front of you, these people did every low-life, the dirty, backstabbing thing they could do. These so-called public servants, the attorney generals of both states, conspired. Oh, the governor, he had sense enough. The governor never signed the extradition warrant. Never. And sent me all the way back 2,500 miles yet to hold me there and then just let me go because they had nothing. Not a thing. They tried to put other charges on me. And it ended up the same way. You had nothing. It's called the root. You're saying the fruit of the poisonous tree. If the root is bad, the fruit is bad. And in this whole situation, it was nothing but bad fruit from the beginning. And all it was, and all it ever has been, is these people trying to cover up, like they always do, the dirt that they did to citizens in abuse of the authority of their officers. And so the next time you hear me calling, throw the bums out, I got real good reason. This has been Anderson signing off. Who can you trust?